I'm Alexis.
And I'm Tiffany, and we're the hosts of Legit Kid Lit, a video series where we get to see into the secret and silly lives of authors and illustrators.
We love to celebrate and promote books, but most of all, we want to say hey to all you readers out there trying to find that right book for you. We hope that you can find some new reads after today.
Today's special guest, Jason Walz, is author and illustrator of a dystopian graphic novel trilogy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Walz. I am the writer and illustrator of the series Last Pick, Book 1, Book 2. Book 3 comes out in October. The pitch is aliens come and they take everyone between the age of 16 and 65. They leave behind the ones they think are too young, too old, or the ones they think have a disability. Spoiler, those are the ones that rise up and fight back. And that is Last Pick.
Hi, Jason. It's Alexis. And we are so happy that you are here at Legit Kid Lit for our second episode. We are really excited to chat with you today and to have some fun. Your books look incredible. It's so cool that you write and illustrate your books. So we want to know, at what age did you begin drawing?
Thanks, Alexis. Thanks for having me. That's a hard question. I've always been drawing. I was also one of those kids that had to go to church all the time. And luckily, my mom let me draw all the time. So I got a lot of drawing time in a few times a week doing that. I think most of it was just drawing Garfield over and over again. And then eventually I started making my own comics around 5th grade. We had a neighbor named Bob, so it was The Adventures of Bob. Then middle school, I made and sold my old comics for $0.25 each, which did not make me cool, but I love doing it. And yeah, I've been drawing as long as I can remember. I have 2 kids now, 5 and 7, and I think they're the same way. They gravitate towards drawing constantly. So I don't know, for as long as I can remember.
So our next question is, what is one of the weirdest places that you've ever written or drawn?
Tiffany, that is a very weird question. I can't think off the top of my head a really weird place where I write or draw. I'm kind of I need things just so. I need some predictability. I will say, though, 2 different times now, I've gotten great ideas being underwater. Both have been, one was in a lake, one was in a pool. For my first graphic novel that came out almost 10 years ago, I got the idea for it kind of just floating underwater. I was thinking about something and then something clicked. And then for Last Pick 3, I couldn't quite figure out how to make it work, the ending for it. And I was in a lake and swimming underwater and just sort of held my breath underwater for a little bit. And it clicked. So either I just like the calm of the water or a lack of oxygen really helps me think.
Thank you for sharing that. I find that I get ideas while I'm running, which, again, lack of oxygen. Maybe there's something there. But I'm not published or anything like that. My ideas are not. We have to know, what are your writing quirks?
My writing quirks are very reward based. So I know a lot of the way I write came from Stephen King. He talked about writing in a book I read in high school, and it was basically treated like a job. Most of the time he doesn't want to write, so he sits in front of a typewriter, I'm a computer, and makes himself write a certain amount every day. Doesn't wait for inspiration. He thinks inspiration is overrated. I kind of agree. So I make myself write, and I lock myself out from social media. I have a timer that locks me out of it. I cannot use it on my computer. I reward myself, usually with guacamole and fried plantains, for getting a certain section done. And I also pace constantly. So I'll type a little bit, and if I really like it or if I really dislike it, I can kind of, the way our house is laid out, I can kind of walk in a circle. Dining room, kitchen, living room, hallway. Then just do that over and over and over again until I'm ready to write the next thing. So a lot of pacing and a lot of rewards.
Sounds like a pretty good plan to me, especially the guacamole. Okay, Jason, we have another question for you. If your book series had a bumper sticker, what would it say?
Oh, so glad you asked. So just came in the mail the other day. I had a bunch of posters made, 11 by 17, that I'm giving out for a lot of different reasons. Anyway, let's see if I know how to flip this around. It has what I would want the bumper sticker to be on it. Okay, so this is my very messy desk area that I'm sharing with my wife. We're both teachers now. Here's the poster, and it says, "Know what happens when you decide a whole bunch of people are worthless? Someday they show you what they're worth, and you'll never see it coming." So I like that as sort of a bumper sticker for the whole book.
I would totally rock that bumper sticker, or at least like a little mini version. I don't know, that one's like for my computer. That's wonderful. Yeah. Or how do I buy that poster?
Whenever I think of bumper stickers now, I think of like that drawing of Calvin where he's just peeing on different things. Or I grew up in Kentucky. Maybe that was a Kentucky thing. So I'm picturing somebody putting a Calvin peeing on my bumper sticker, and now I don't want it anymore. The poster right now is only for, I'm doing this thing. You can see it on my website. It's called the Last Pick Launch Team. If you join up with that and help get the word out about the next book, I send out a poster. It's the only way to get it.
Okay, signing up for the launch team for sure. And it's a Missouri thing too. The bumper stickers with the peeing. So, no, we don't want that. Maybe we can make a new fad. Book bumper stickers. That's where it is. What is your guilty pleasure?
I have so many. Well, two things to say about it. I have a bunch, but also I'm not a big fan of calling them guilty pleasures. If you like it, you like it. Nothing to feel guilty about. That said, I consider myself to be a movie snob and a music snob. And I guess for the music side, I listen to a lot of very pretentious jazz and things like that. But when I'm running, I put on a lot of T Swift. So maybe I should feel guilty about that. And for movies and TV, especially now they have two kids, like when they're in bed, I'm watching some garbage.
So we would love for you to share with us what is in your Netflix queue. Speaking of garbage.
Yeah, I feel like I totally set myself up for that by saying I watch a lot of garbage. Now everybody wants to know what the garbage is. Okay, let's do this. So computer's open, flipping screen. Let's go here. Oh, Love on the Spectrum. First of all, this is great. So I have one of my characters in the book. His name is Wyatt. He is on the autism spectrum. Let me flip this for a second. Yeah, he's on the autism spectrum. It's never really, I don't think I ever really say that, but I try to get it across in his mannerisms, characteristics. Anyway, this show, Love on the Spectrum, I like a ton. It's a lot of fun. It's about people on the autism spectrum trying to get out and date. Anyway, flip this back around. Here's the cue. Let's see. So you should also know I love horror. So there's probably going to be a lot of disgusting horror further down. There's also going to be a lot of stuff I've started and haven't finished. Umbrella Academy is a good example. I have never, ever seen Avatar. So I'm super stoked to watch that with my kids. We're going to start watching that. Obviously, you got to have the Great British Bake Off in your queue. Any person that is feeling stressed kind of needs that these days. My favorite superhero movie of all time, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, is definitely on that queue. My favorite romantic movie of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Let's get down to something embarrassing. There's got to be some really embarrassing stuff on here somewhere. Oh, Glow. I love Glow. Gotta love that. Then, I mean, you've got like new Orson Welles movies that I know I should watch, but probably never will watch. The Floor is Lava. My kids love that. It's like old school Nickelodeon type show. Yeah, where are all my embarrassing horror movies? Before I Wake. Ooh, David Lynch. This is a short movie with a talking monkey. So if you need some talking monkeys in your life, you want to do that. Yeah, so I guess I do have some creepy stuff. It's just kind of tucked away here at the end. That's my cue. A whole lot of horror, a whole lot of stuff I know I should watch and never will, and then a whole lot of garbage that I will definitely watch.
Thank you for sharing those. We want to know, what is your least favorite chore and why?
Least favorite chore. There's a lot of things I don't like to do. I don't like to stop and get gas. I find that annoying. I don't love cooking. But I think my least favorite one, my wife is an amazing gardener, landscaper. Our home is, the outside of our home is beautiful, and it's all because of her. And I tell her, just, tell me what to do, and I will always help. I don't ever really love doing that stuff, but I keep it to myself for the most part. But yeah, gardening's not something I really love to do. I'm more of an indoor kid, always have been. Maybe a lot of artists are. Yeah, I'd much rather be inside than outside gardening.
So I know you mentioned Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse earlier, but who is your favorite superhero and why?
Oh, I like that question. So I talk at a lot of schools, and almost all the time it comes around to students asking who my favorite superhero is. And or specifically they ask, who's your favorite Batman or Superman? And I always say, you guys aren't gonna like my answer. They're like, oh no, it's fine. And I say Superman, and everyone just goes boo, because everybody loves Batman. I'm a big Superman guy. I think that oftentimes Superman storylines aren't well done because he's hard to write for. He's, as you know, he's a good guy. He's a Boy Scout. He's does everything right, and it's hard to get a good story out of there. But when you can write a good story for that, I think it's really powerful for people to read something that gives them hope, kind of the best in us. I think Batman's a lot easier to write for. You just kind of, oh, everything's so terrible, and that story just sort of builds from that. So yeah, I'm a Superman guy through and through. Boo on Batman.
I had the same reaction that students just had because I'm Team Batman. But I think you're right in that there has to be the right writer. And I recently read Superman Smashes the Klan. And that sold me on Superman because he is the good guy. And it's hard to relate to how good he is. But I think Gene Luen Yang did a great job at showing him. But it had a different story as well. He wasn't the focus. But anyway, so he sold me on Superman. But I am Team Batman. But I prefer Marvel.
That book is so good. Superman Smashes the Klan. So yeah, if you haven't read it, and you're curious about it, or you kind of like superheroes or whatever, check that one out. It's fantastic. I'm talking to everybody else. You already know that. Another one I really like is it's called All-Star Superman. That came out about a decade ago, probably. I like that storyline a lot. And then there's one called, I think it's Red Sun, and it sort of reimagines Superman being found in the Soviet Union, Russia, and being raised there, and that's a really good story too. So yeah, Superman, and obviously if you like Batman, that's totally fine. Batman's great, he's just not my thing.
Thanks for that recommendation.
Okay, Jason, can you try to sell us hot chocolate in Florida during the summer?
I don't think I can. I'm so bad at, what's the word? Well, I related to, I'm so bad at pitching ideas. And I think you need to be able to pitch an idea to get somebody in Florida to drink hot chocolate. I say that because a lot of my job is pitching a new idea to a publisher to see if they'll give you money to make this thing. A lot of people can get it down to maybe a short synopsis of what it's going to be, maybe some drawings to go along with it, but really it's that one or two sentences that really sells the whole thing. Putting like your whole idea into one small, understandable, bite-sized idea. And I have such a hard time with that. So I think I have to do 3 times the work of everybody else. I have to really maybe draw and write out several chapters of a book and then present that so that people are like, oh, I see what he's getting at, you know, and then base it on that. But just as like a sentence or two, I've never been able to pull that off. So if I'm trying to do it, nobody's drinking hot chocolate in Florida because I'm ruining the pitch.
Okay, well, can you think of like a certain part of any of your books that you felt like was really, really hard to try and pitch to someone?
You know what? One that I'm working on right now, I've tried a few times to pitch it, and there have been no's. People saying no. I stand by there's a good story there, but I completely understand that I haven't sold it very well. So I'm probably just going to work on it on my own, maybe get half of it done and then pitch it again. But it's dealing with some heavy stuff. It's when my best friend died about a year ago. And I'm thinking of younger people. I think not oftentimes, hopefully, but when younger people lose somebody important in their life, like a friend, I don't think there's a rule book for that. I think we understand how to mourn with a parent that loses a child, or somebody that loses a parent or a spouse. But friends losing a friend, it's this tricky gray area that I don't think there's not a rule book for. So I'm trying to create a story about that. And it's kind of subtle, the things I'm trying to get across, so it's not come across in the pitch, and I just need to write it all out. I need to do the hard work.
Is there anything else, like a scene in one of your books, or like a picture or like a spread that you would want to kind of like showcase to viewers that would like kind of get them intrigued for the trilogy?
Yeah, thanks. So the part of my books I'm most proud of was the whole point of the books was to really highlight people labeled with disabilities. I think our society does a good job creating laws, and I think we do a good job acting like we are trying to help everybody, and I think in reality we don't do such a great job with that. So I wanted to show some of the struggles that people with disabilities may have, and then place it in a sci-fi world where they're allowed to shine and really, again, like save the day. So anyway, I'm proud of some depictions of that in there. Before I get to that, I just opened up a couple pages. So if you are into monsters, you get lots of disgusting, gross monsters, tons of battles and things like that. If you're into robots, don't you worry. We have giant robots that people fit in and control from inside. But I am going to skip ahead. I'm doing it fast so there's no spoilers. No spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers. One character that I like quite a bit is Harper. Harper uses sign language, and I depict it in my comics just like this. So I don't think it's very often that people using sign are depicted this way in a comic or graphic novel, so I do like that quite a bit. But yeah, global hopping, monster fighting, robot using, universe saving, disability forward, graphic novel trilogy. Put that on a bumper sticker.
That was beautiful. Mr. I Can't Pitch just pitched it. Like, home run. I don't know. Is that a right thing? I don't know. I'm not into sports. But, wow. I mean, I remember liking the first book. But now, yeah, I'm ready to reread. And I think you're right. I think we don't do a good enough job at really helping or just showing acceptance and inclusivity. Wow, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I love the sign language. Wow. I'm speechless. All right. So we want to make a playlist of Last Pick. What song or songs or artist would be in a playlist?
That's a hard question. It's hard and it's easy. So it's easy in the sense that there was a minute there recently where there was talk of Last Pick being turned into a television series, live action. That didn't happen or hasn't happened yet. But that means that, like when I'm running or floating underwater, that's a weird thing to admit. But when I'm running, I'm oftentimes thinking of a scene from the books and what would be the music used behind it for the scene. And And I get very specific about different songs that probably aren't that interesting. A lot of Radiohead. But really overall, so Sam is the sister of Wyatt. Wyatt is on the autism spectrum. As the series starts, Sam is the leader. Wyatt is sort of afraid of taking that step into leadership. So Sam spends all 3 books really kicking a lot of butt. So I always have sort of girl pop punk in my head. I'm not going to sing any of it, and I can't think of any specific song titles. But maybe you can picture sort of that girl pop punk band, all female, just kicking butt and screaming. That's definitely the sort of song that I think of when I think of those books, that type of music that I think of when I think of those books.
Oh man, I was actually hoping for some live recordings of some of those songs.
Okay, you got me. I can think of one that I think of really often. So it's Chick Habit by the band April March. Here you go. Nope, that would be Lilo and Stitch. My kids are using my account. Here we go. Let's try this. Anyway, there you go. You get the idea.
Oh, I'm having way too much fun.
This is Minute to Win It. I'm going against my son. Who are you?
Desmond.
Not Desmond. Here's the deal. I'm going to set this timer for 1 minute. We have 1 minute to try to suck up and put as many marshmallows on our plate as we can. Person that has the most marshmallows wins. You got it? I'm going to set the timer. Don't you cheat. Oh.
Oh no.
On your mark. Get set. Go.
No, you cheated.
Oh, what? No.
What?
I just grabbed a bunch and threw them out there. I cheated at the end. You destroyed me. Nice job. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Jason, and thank you so much for stopping by and dedicating so much time. We look forward to the 3rd book's coming out, and we wish you the best of luck when you are releasing this book. I hope it all goes wonderfully, and yeah, we look forward to reading. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me stop by, Tiffany and Alexis. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
To all our wonderful readers, we hope you enjoyed our show and are inspired now to pick up some new and exciting books.
And we'll be back next week with a new special guest and some crazy new fun. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Tiffany, and we're signing out.
Make sure to like and subscribe.